Hey KW, the Tech Matters YouTube channel is back. Today we're going to be doing a video with the amazing managing broker Kate Matteson. She's going to be showing you how to send docs out for signatures through Docusign.
Hello KWAZ agents. Let's send out some documents through Docusign to be signed for a listing. So I am already in my opportunity. I've already created it and I've already linked it to a room within Docusign. But so let's go ahead and go to that room and we're going to get some docs signed. So the very first thing that you're going to see is there's already some listing documents in here. Normally you would come in here and there'd be nothing into the room, and so I tell everybody to work left to right. So the very first thing you're going to do is click on that details tab. You're going to see a blue line. Anytime you see that blue line, that's the tab that you're working in. So we're in the details section, and you can add as much or as little as you want. The basic information is what you're going for, though. You really want to have the property address in there, names of the sellers, their email address, your information too as a listing agent. And once you have that basic information, you would then just hit save and close. But you always have to make sure you're in the edit mode. So you'd click on edit, and then you can make any changes you need to, add anything you want, and then hit save. At that point, we can go on to our documents tab, and we want to add some documents in here. So right now we've got some forms in here, but we wanted, if we were in here for the first time, we would click on add and then go to Docusign forms. That's where all of our fillable forms are housed. So right here you're going to see that you have some choices. You have the library or you have a group. If you chose from the library, you're going to see AAR forms, armless documents, and then KWAZ, which is anything that's branded to us. So AAR is obviously your contracts, armless listing documents, and then things that are branded to us. We've also created two groups for you. I have a buyer group and a seller group. These are traditional documents. There's not going to be anything different in here, so no short sale forms or anything like that, just if you had a traditional listing. So you could choose this traditional listing form folder, and you're going to see that I have already picked and chosen documents for you guys from AAR and from KWAZ and from Armless, and I've put them into this one folder for you. So you would choose your exclusive right to sell and anything else that you needed for your listing documents. You're going to see these little gray boxes over here that are already checked. That just means that those documents are already in my room. So I have everything I need at this point. I don't need to add anything else, so I'm just going to back out of there. And then now we are in the spot that we actually fill these documents out. So you're going to open them up. And while you're doing that, you then get onto a screen where everything is fillable. So at that point, you're going to fill out your document like you would traditionally. Make sure you're checking all the boxes and filling out any of the spots that you need to. Just know that you're not going to see any of the tags right now for initials. So once you have everything filled out, you'll just hit save and close. And then you're going to work through your remaining documents and fill them out as needed as well. One that you need to pay close attention to is your real estate agency and disclosure. This form, so you fill out the top portion, and then this should auto-populate from what you filled in the detail section. But you're going to notice that you can't check anything right here. And this is because AAR, the attorneys, wanted the buyer or the seller to be able to choose that election. Hopefully as the agent, you've already had this conversation with them. You know what type of agency they're wanting from you. So I will show you later on how you can check those boxes before sending it out to signature. So just notice that you're not going to be able to do that in this section. So you hit save and close for that. We're back in our room now. And at this point, I'm ready to send these out and get signatures. So you're, again, going to work left to right, but we don't need to do anything with this people section. So now that everything is filled out, we are going to skip over the people section because we've already put their information in details, and we're going to go to envelopes. At this point, you're not going to see any envelopes in here if it's a brand new room, but you will end up having maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 envelopes before your transaction is over with. So right now I already have a draft in here, but otherwise you would click on new and add a new envelope. So if I have this draft in here, and when you click on or new, you're going to open this up and it says, please Docusign. Go ahead and rename it what those documents are that you're sending out. Will really help you in the long run when you start getting multiple envelopes in that room, so you'll quickly be able to recognize which documents you have. At this point, I'm going to come down here and take this out. We don't have any recipients in, and you don't want to do that yet. The reason being is because if you don't have any documents in here, if you click on Add Recipients, it's only going to give you 2 options, and we really want to have that third option, which is to be able to have the tags. So we want to add our room documents, and right now I just need my exclusive right to sell. I'm going to send the KWABA, market conditions, agency disclosure, everything else they already have in person. So I let them load at this point, and once they've loaded, then I'm going to add my recipients. That is a key point right there to remember. Then I'll click on Add, and now you're going to see that you have the option to have pre-tagged roles. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to choose, because this is a listing, I'm picking my sellers. So I have 2 sellers in here. And then you as the listing agent are going to need to sign as well. And then hit Add Selected. You're now going to see them auto-populate in here with the email address already, because you already had that email address back in that details section. Now you see, because I have more than one person in here, I can give signing orders. If they had the same email address, you would want to give them different signing orders. In this case, because they have separate email addresses, it really honestly can go to them all at the same time. I'm going to change a little bit around. So now you see, let's do, so my order, see how it shifts everything around. The reason I'm doing that is because the listing agent needs to sign, and then is also going to sign as the seller as well. So we'll go ahead and let them sign as the listing agent, and then it will go out for signatures once that is completed to both of them to sign as sellers. You can also, at this point, because you've got your documents in here, you can move them around. So if you wanted your agency disclosure to be the first thing that was signed and seen by your clients, you could move that to the front right here, then have exclusive right, then have whatever else you needed. But you do have the ability to move those forms around at this point. If you needed to add anything else, you can do that here. You can choose from your room, or you can also upload from your computer. So if you had a PDF of something and you wanted to tag that and send that out, you could upload from here and send that as well. Then if you scroll to the bottom, you can send out an email. And it's basically whatever you're wanting to say to your clients. It shows up as a regular email. And then you're going to hit next. So I think the next was cut off from the video screen, but that is right at the top of this. And I'll stretch that out so now you guys can see. So now I am in the portion where it tags. So you're going to see, as you scroll down, you're going to see tags down here already. And this is what I was speaking about earlier. So it now is allowing the seller to choose what kind of agency, but you guys as the agents already know. So you can go ahead and click on which X's you want. So we're going to represent the seller's broker and show the seller's property to buyers. If you're clicking on this and it does not click for you, you can come over here to the right, as long as you've got it checked and you see that little blue box around that. If you hit checked, it will put a check mark in there for you, and that way you can kind of move on with that. So at this point now we have chosen those. One other thing you may want to do is to also take this, click on what they don't need to sign, and you can come down here to the bottom right and delete that out. So just so you all realize, you have the ability to override the system no matter what's in there. So if you wanted to drop another signature or initial somewhere, let's say you were looking at a document. So on this right hand side you have these little thumbnails, and you can click on every form that's in there, and then it's going to show you all of the documents. If you click on that page, it'll pull that page up. So let's say we added some information in here about things that are not conveying, and you wanted to make sure that the sellers really saw this. So you could actually drop in some initials for them. You can resize them. And then that way you're adding additional initials in there. So you have the ability to override. At that point, if you click on this again, you can see all the rest of the forms over here. You can make sure that they're tagged. Everybody is color coded, and whoever is up here at the top is who you're doing initial for at the time. So then we're going to come down, make sure everything looks good. We're all set. Got our KW ABA is the last form, and it's been initialed and dated as well. Big thing to remember, you always want to make sure your date's in there. If you're using the pre-tagged, it's going to automatically date. If you're throwing in your own signatures on any PDF form, you really need to make sure you're grabbing the date sign too. It will only do signatures on that sign block. You have to add in your date. At this point, I'm ready to send these out for signature. If I wanted to, I could click on recipient preview. You can see what your client is seeing. Or you can go ahead and just click send. So we're going to go ahead and just click send. And this particular one is going to request that the agent sign now. So make sure you're tagging yourself as the agent. And you can see how quickly that goes through there, and then hit finish. So just keep that in mind. So when your clients are receiving those documents too, they're viewing it just as quickly as that. And you really want to make sure that they're reading it. So now we know that those documents are out for signatures. I'm going to go back into the room because I just want you to see what this envelope looks like. So if I click, so now it says need my signature. We already know that we signed that one thing as the listing agent. So you would typically see right here is waiting on others. At that point, you know that you have done what you need to do. Your clients now have the documents in hand and they need to sign. You can refresh this screen and come back to here, and once it's signed, it will say documents have been signed, documents completed, and then it will throw a signed copy back here in the document tab. So you will now see both the form and the signed document. So that's how you quickly get some documents signed through Docusign.
Thanks for watching Tech Matters. For other great command training videos, check out the rest of my channel. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe.